Okay, thank you so much to everyone that has logged on to join our IHS lunchtime webinar. And we're going to start off with the lovely graduate, Michelle Scanlon, NT, and we have Lou Barton, our social media coordinator on, and they're going to give you a really good idea of what to expect from the student experience. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Lou and Michelle.
Okay, thank you so much, Nisha. Hi, everyone. Welcome. So, yeah, my name's Lou, and I help to look after the social media communities here at the Institute of Health Sciences. And we are really delighted and actually really lucky to have Michelle with us today. Michelle, give us a wave. So Michelle is here because she is going to give you an insight into what it's like to study with IHS, and she's freshly graduated. So she graduated just last month. So a massive round of applause for Michelle. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So yeah, Michelle is freshly graduated, so she's going to be able to give us a really great insight into what it's like studying to be a nutrition and lifestyle coach. And I think Michelle is just perfect for this for us because she is actually also a mother of three children, three young children, 7, 5, and 1. So I'm really keen to, as a mum of 4, I'm like really keen to pick your brains onto how on earth you managed to do that, study and graduate as a mum of 3. But first of all, I want to take you back. I want to take you right back to before you started studying. And I know that you were an accountant for like a decade, 10 years of being an accountant. So what was it that kind of triggered your sort of motivation and your desire to decide to completely switch careers and study to become a nutrition and lifestyle coach?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I was really delighted to get the invite because I really feel getting real life experiences really kind of brings the course to life and shows the real how it can, it can be achievable, but at the same time there's challenges. Yeah. My background, yes, I was an accountant, well, still am technically, but I really had to grow for numbers when I was young, but I also had to grow for nutrition. I always felt that what you put into your body is what you get out. But it was always a hobby of mine. It wasn't something that I thought I would be able to do a career in. Obviously, when I was studying or picking courses when I was in college, nutrition wasn't something that came up. So it wasn't something that, I saw as a career. Went through college I trained actually till I was 28 to become an accountant from leaving school at 18. So it took me 10 years to get qualified. And then I did another 10 years working. Now, while I was training, I loved it. It was all one-to-one with clients, and then different jobs that I took then after I qualified, just like bearing in mind that we went from the boom to the bust in that time in the mid-noughties. And I just lost my mojo for it. And I couldn't put my finger on it, what my issue was. I was like, is it the job? Is it me? What is it? So then I started having children, and at my second child, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. I sort of knew what it was about because my mother had it. But like that, I didn't see her having an issue with it or her life was being changed. So I didn't really look too much into it. Long story short, I couldn't I couldn't regulate just by medication. It just wasn't working. And different health issues kept occurring offset from that, especially after I gave birth. And the more I dug into it, the more I was kind of informed that, it's not just about the medication. It's like, your diet, supplements, that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, so I actually Googled nutrition for thyroidism or something like that. And ads started coming up actually on my Instagram. And it was at a time where I was at an all-time low. I was very upset, and this came up, and I clicked into it, and there was a girl online, which was what I loved. It was online. I didn't have to travel, because anyone that doesn't know who I am, I live in the west of Ireland in Mayo. So access to the city, I would have to travel at least 2 hours to get to Galway, and then Dublin is 3.5, 4 hours. So online was what I wanted because I already had 2 children, and she basically took me in hand, and I was trying to get pregnant at this time. My journey was a couple, like to get as far as there was 2 years, and I was trying to get pregnant, and I had 2 miscarriages and other issues. And I was like, something has to give. I have to change in order to get a different outcome. You have to do something different. That's my motto. So I literally, it was 8 weeks under Michelle Joanne. She is a previous IHS student. She's now an NT. Took me in hand, and I was just one of those people, feed me with all the information, give me everything that I need to do, and I will do it. And within 8 weeks, my whole bloods and everything had turned around completely. My health had turned around, and I ended up pregnant. So I asked her what was her background. She was an accountant. Her name was Michelle. She left the career. I was going, this is ridiculous. I was like, you know, is there somebody speaking to me here? And I said, who did you train with? And she said, IHS. And I was like, okay. And I says, give me the information. I says, what I need to do. And she told me. I emailed Lawrence, who was one of the coordinators, online again, because I love all online. That's just me. And I just said to him, look at here, I'm interested in doing LLC. He told me the ins and outs, exactly what I have to do. He says, you can try Nutritics, which is the software. You can try looking at the course outline. And he said, come back to me, let me know what you think. And within a week, I was set up, ready to go. There was an early bird as well offer. I took that. And he was a great support. And I said to him, if I need, like, if I get pregnant or if I need to like defer, is this possible? He said, you have 2 years to defer. And I was like, this sounds right up my street.
Yeah.
And I don't know, was it just everybody was looking after me up there or whatever? A week later, I got a positive pregnancy test after signing up to IHS. I was going, what am I going to do?
It's a sign. You've made the right choice, of course. I think it's actually,
wow.
I think it's really interesting what you said there, that when you're initially interested, you did that, you had a look at the unit outline, and then you signed up to do one of those free classes, because it's such a good way to experience what it's like learning with us and just see if that's going to work for you. So, you know, for anyone who's listening to this webinar that hasn't signed up yet to like take the free class, I would highly recommend you go ahead and do that. It's such a great way to experience the course material and how you learn with us, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. That's what signed the deal for me, because like I still wasn't sure, even though like I knew I wanted to go down this route.
Yeah.
It really felt right for me at the time, but at the same time I was kind of going, okay, it's still an investment, it's still time. And I was like, I still have 2 children. Now I'm pregnant. I'm like, how am I going to manage 2 children, a pregnancy and life itself? And bearing in mind, if anyone's wondering, I did have a job right up until the lockdown. But I had decided for my own health reasons that I actually handed in my notice and I left my career. So I was kind of on that path. But this was just like, I literally could just put the kids to school or to bed, and I could come into my office, shut the door, and then it was time to study. Yeah, so I was able to, without having to travel. Do you know?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how on earth did you manage to balance the studying with having the 3 young kids? But I suppose having it online and digital and being able to do it from the comfort of your own home, sort of at a time that suits you, rather than having to be somewhere at a designated time, was probably quite a big factor for you in fitting it in and around your busy life, right?
Yeah, like you were, like the great thing about the course is that you're given all the units, you're given a timetable of when it starts, when it ends, and when you need to have your assignment in. You have your forums, you have all your webinars, and all the dates are put up there, and I put them up on the wall, and I just had a calendar, and I says, right, this is what I have to get done in this amount of time. And it's all about planning and just being organized, especially when you have a lot going on. And there's people, I have colleagues that have full-time jobs. Actually, there's a girl that moved from Hong Kong to the UK while she was finishing off this course and doing unit 10, 11 and 12, which is they're the most challenging ones, because you're doing the practicals. You're doing your mock kind of consultations, and she was studying in the car.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you really want to do it, you can make it happen. You can fit it in and around your life.
Yeah.
So what did you love most about the nutrition and lifestyle course? What did you enjoy most about the course that you took with us?
oh God, it'd be easier to ask me what didn't I like. I loved the step-by-step build up. That were like it was like the more I read, the more I wanted to learn. I was just like, oh my God, tell me what the next bit is. I really want to be able to put all this together. So I was very eager, but I just loved there wasn't too much information, but there was enough information. Do you know what I mean? As regards like food, how food affects you. And another thing is how organized IHS are. You have your handouts, you have, you have everything, all the paperwork that we need is all laid out clearly for you. There's no work involved. You just literally download and print, or download and save. And that to me saved me a lot of time. So oh, what do you call it? My mind's gone blank now. Your oh, there's a folder. I'll have to open the folder now to remember the name of it. You know, when you have all your documents, and the handout sheets, the vitamins, minerals, absolutely everything you have put, like there's a lot of work you have put into that course to make life easier for us, and we have that to keep after.
Practitioner toolkit, isn't it?
Yes, thank you. That's it. Consultation toolkit. Okay, sorry, mind blank. Consultation toolkit, yeah. So like literally everything you need from A to Z, even like learning what herbs go with what foods and oils and the temperatures. I just couldn't tell you. I'd be here for another hour to tell you what I actually loved about everything I loved about it. Everything.
What about the tutors? Because I know when we chatted before, you were saying that you felt really supported.
Yeah, the tutors are they're very, very approachable. They, like, even at the start of their webinars, nothing is, too much to ask. They're like, it doesn't matter how silly you think the question is, or it doesn't matter how long. And then they're like, okay, if we're running out of time, they do a lot of time at the end of the webinars, or they ask you to pop it on to the forum so that everybody can learn from it. And they're like, so it's a reminder for them. And they're like, I will get back to you. And they are honest. Like, they're like, it could take a couple of days, but they do encourage then for you to build up your own communities as students, and either set up a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group or something where you're able to bounce off ideas, because absolutely everybody that's on the course has totally different backgrounds. Like, I would struggle in a lot of, say, holistic side of things where I might be into it, but it's not second nature. Whereas the technology side of things, everyone was coming to me going, how do I fix this spreadsheet? This is near the end now, don't get scared. Like, how do I format this? And I was just kind of going, okay, just click that button. And they're going, how do you do that? And I was like, well, we all have our strengths and we all have our challenges. So by collaborating together, it made life so much easier.
It's really nice you had that like student support network. And I know that you've actually made a couple of, long-term friends from the course as well, like people you're going to keep in touch with, outside of the studying as well, and they're kind of acting now as your kind of like accountability buddy while you're setting up your business. So it's so nice to hear that you had that support from the tutors, but also from fellow students, and you've gone on to form friendships with them as well. It's so nice.
Yeah, and we share information as well. Like, Susan is one of my friends, and she'd have found something. She was like, oh, did you see this? Or did you see that? Because like, by the way, IHS don't stop supporting you just because you've graduated. They have online webinars that are free. So I've already been to the one, oh my God, what's her, Oksana. I was on Oksana's one on Tuesday, and I'm going to another one on next Tuesday, and they're all free. Like, this is the support that IHS give you. It's not just like, okay, you're on your own, paddle your own canoe now. And the other one is on Tuesday is to how to hold online courses like this for your business. And Oksana's one was how to generate client base. So it was invaluable information. Like, you can go on to do other short courses with them. And I actually have signed up to do the menstrual health. When I saw that online, I think Lawrence thought I was correct. I was like, oh my God, because I have such a passion for women's health, especially our menstrual cycle, because I think we have a very unique power that men don't have. We have a menstrual cycle that tells us if there's something not working in your menstrual cycle, there's something else wrong in your body, and we have something to tell us that. Yeah. So we have all this intuition that men don't have, and it's like we don't get enough empowerment from it. So it's like, okay, that's what I'm doing. And then stress management. So I'm doing both of them.
Oh my gosh. I love your motivation and your energy and your passion for health coaching is just like literally shining out of the screen to me. You're just so passionate when you're talking about it. You can really see that it's like sparked something within you. And I love the fact that you've only just graduated and you've already signed up for like some extra like CPD courses already. That's amazing. So when you were looking around at different courses to study, what made you go to IHS? What was the thing that sort of tipped you into signing up with us over others?
Well, as I said, Michelle mentioned that it was IHS because health sciences wasn't something that was even in my realm. That was more my sister's.
Yeah.
She did something like that, and she's actually studying kinesiology. So the idea is that she'll become a kinesiologist and I'll be an NLC, and we'll collaborate together, and we'll just, make everyone in Mayo and the whole world healthy. Holistically. So we're going to conquer the world. But she put me through to IHS, and then I did look. It's amazing how you think your phone's listening to you, but it's how you've Googled obviously a course, or you've Googled like IHS, and then all these other colleges come along with their courses. And I don't know, maybe I was being biased because I think it was the personal recommendation.
Yeah.
And that was another reason why, like, I think this was an absolute brilliant idea that you came up with, is to have somebody, a past student, coming on and saying what their experiences, because at least then you get to see somebody, that was just in the thick of it, just finished, and what their experience was. And I won't tell a lie. I mean, the last 3 months were the toughest. I came back in September after being on maternity leave, and my child was 7-8 months old. Yeah. He's now just turning 1. And it was literally like, okay, he's going to bed at 10. I have literally 2 hours to get my stuff together and start absorbing all of this. And I just organized my time. It's amazing when you don't have an awful lot of time to procrastinate. Yeah. You just go, right, this is what I need to get done. And that's what I loved about IHS, is that they tell you exactly, and the lecturers are the same. They're like, this is what you need to get done. Yeah. And this is the time you have it. And the stuff in between, if you need the support, we are there.
Yeah. Yeah, that support lifeline, so good. And also just circling back to what you said at the beginning, like if you need to have that 2 years to complete the course, that option is available to you. So, if you want to have that sort of extended time period to go a little bit slower through the course because life happens, especially when you've got 3 little ones, then that is always an option to you to go a little bit slower, isn't it? Now, I have to ask you, because you're so filled with passion and excitement, what are your goals? Like, where do you want to take your coaching? Like, now you're qualified.
Oh God, I was actually only writing down ideas. Actually, I have a little diary already done. I'm advocating actually somebody from Mayo. She has a life compass diary. She's called the Navigation Coach, and I have previously used her. She's a life coach, but she's also a career coach, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs and self-employed people in Mayo in Ireland. That I follow, like, say, makeup artists, hairdressers, loads of different types of people. And she can be your coach support, like monthly check-ins, that kind of thing. So I've actually made another appointment with her, and she told me 4 years ago, she was like, Michelle, you need to be self-employed. She says, you're a leader, you're passionate, you have all the credentials for someone to be self-employed. I was like, no. And imagine to be told that by somebody, but you weren't ready to hear it. Yeah. And for her to be actually right. Yeah. So my goals would be, I was actually writing them down. I want to do one-to-one coaching, but I also want to do kind of group sessions like this, where I found that even with I've used family, friends and stuff like that to practice on, and then my mock consultation, and I found that same thing all the time. Everyone's busy, everyone's stressed. Nobody has the time to be thinking about what nutritious meal am I going to put on the table tonight. Yeah. It's the most mundane, like, it's lovely. Food is fantastic, but only if you have the time, like, and people get so overwhelmed. So I want to do ebooks. I want to sell ebooks like that are like €5 or €10 and say, here, download these tips to make life easier for yourself. And it's not just like, oh, you need to go out and buy all these, ingredients that you've never heard of. Yeah. Just simple tips going, like, for instance, not for everybody, but like, use your leftovers from your dinner for your lunch the next day, or, grab something out of the dry cupboard, like, some, beans, lentils, throw them, that they take 5 to 10 minutes to cook.
Yeah.
They're not really hard. And just those little things just to make life easier for people, because I think people get so bogged down going, I'm not doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they just lose interest altogether, and then they just reach for what's quick and easy, and that mightn't be convenient. And the convenient just doesn't work. You can make healthy food convenient, but you need the tools to know how.
Yeah.
And I think it's just tools.
Yeah, I think it's so cool that, you know, once you've graduated, like you just have, there's so many different routes you can take it. You can do the one-to-one coaching, you can do the group coaching, you can create and sell ebooks. I think it's really good to give the people on the session with us just a little bit of a flavor of those different things you can do. I've got one more question to ask you, Michelle. Anyone who's a bit on the fence, so anyone who's a bit like, oh, this sounds really good, but I'm just not sure, maybe I'm not ready, can I fit it in? Maybe, like, you know, people haven't studied for a long time, are they going to be able to get their mind back in that zone again? For anyone that's sort of teetering on the edge a bit of diving in, what would you say to those people?
First of all, do the trial. Speak to Lawrence. Lawrence is amazing. He has like any amount of experience in this, and he's very easy to talk to. Do all the trials, he has them available, and you can just at the click of a button use them, get the feel of what you think. Like, I was reading the course outline, I was going, oh my God, I want to know about this, I want to know about this. Yeah. Get yourself, and like, once you try it, even if you sign up and you say, and there's obviously there's payment plans as well that you can do. You don't have to pay all up front. You can pay monthly, you can pay the whole year, you can pay half yearly. They work very much around what you can afford. If you want to stop, you let them know. You get to the end of a unit and they say, right, stop here, let us know when you come back, and you have a chat with your tutor as well. You get assigned a tutor, and they're so supportive. So they ask you, like, what, a bit like yourself, what brings you here today, like, why do you want to study it and stuff like that. And whatever support you need, they will give it to you. All you have to do is just email them or give them a call, and they're at the end of the phone if you're struggling. And like that, they encourage communities to be set up within your cohort. Yeah. And you will find that straight away, like the story I told you two before we came on live. I came back, I actually did stop for the 7 months, and I came back and I knew nobody. And I was going, what am I going to do? Like, I mean, I know no one, and I'm going to have no help, and I'm going to be, I felt so at sea, and I was very nervous, more nervous than when I actually started the course first, because I was like, everybody's new. Whereas I was jumping in at unit 9 and everybody knew each other. So just went on to the first webinar, and I said, here, I'm just going to put myself out there. And at the very end, I just turned around and said, in the comments box, here's my number. Please don't sign me up to any funny business groups like me, it'd be funny. And I was like, if you want to be in contact with me, fine. And I got 3 groups coming to me. That particular cohort were all smaller groups. They found that they worked better in smaller groups. Yeah. Whereas the last cohort I was in, it was a larger group. So it was ever works. And I found that they're with the 3 lifelong friends I know that I'm going to have. And if I can do it with 3 kids, and as I said, another girl moves from Hong Kong like me into the UK, and she still and she was starting a new job. So she was, I was just like going, okay, your life seems way more bonkers than mine. And she was going, no, seriously, I couldn't do 3 kids. I'm going, I couldn't move continents.
So you would just say to people, just dive on in. First port of call is to perhaps get the unit outline, see if that really inspires you, if it looks really exciting to you, sign up for that free class.
And get the timetable and see. Yeah. Just go for it. And like, if you sign up to a month and you say, oh, here, there's no, like, they're not going to turn around and say, oh, you signed up to this, you're staying here forever. You know, you have to, it's all up to you. I know a girl that actually came back the second time, and she just realized, what she learned was that she goes, the coaching was for her, but the nutrition side wasn't. And she said, this course is not for me. And that was it. So she just like was, and she goes, I'm going to have to leave. And she felt bad, like, because we were doing the buddy coaching at the time. And she was like, I'll finish the buddy coaching. She says, but no, this is my second time coming back. And she just goes, something doesn't feel right. But I know I love the coaching side. So you will learn something from it, regardless.
No, that's great. That's so good. Thanks, Michelle. And if anyone wants to continue to follow you or follow your journey as you embark, where can people find out more from you? Do you have a website or an Instagram page people can look you up on?
I have an Instagram page called Nutrition Dished Up.
Great.
So see what I'll type in my handle into the comments box here, the chat box, just so that because I'm not quite sure where the hyphen is or whatever. It's amazing, like. But yeah, I started that while I was studying, and as I learned something, like say like a vitamin, what it can do for you, I actually started creating posts.
Yeah, it's great. So you can start your like Instagram account as soon as you start studying. It's a really great way to like gain momentum before you've studied, isn't it? Oh, Michelle, thank you so much. You've shared so many nuggets of wisdom, and just your, you know, your energy and your passion for health and wellness has really shone through. So thank you so much for taking the time to share a little bit of the information about your journey with us. So thank you.
No problem at all, and thank you for having me. It was just, I hope I help people out.
Oh, it was amazing. I have to say, Michelle, your enthusiasm is infectious. And I love that your plan with your sister and to start with making everyone a Mayo healthy, first of all, and then just don't stop there, take over the world. I love that. And don't dip, just dive.
Exactly.